Give me 2 secs.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's recording.
Looks like it's live, yeah.
Okay. Welcome to my first interview with some old clients of mine. So this is the very first one. This is Jess and Alan. They got married in October last year, before COVID. BC. Can we make that a new thing? BC.
Yeah. 1 year, 1 year BC, yeah.
Yeah, so they got married, you know, at a time when everything was normal, or how we thought it was normal. And what I wanted to do with these interviews is change the conversation for people who are planning their weddings, because there will be another side of this, and it's really stressful at the moment, and I know that it's hard to look forward to the big day, the day itself, but there is so much to plan and look forward to, and to change that kind of emphasis to the excitement again. I think we could all use a little bit of that. So Jess and Alan, I want to focus today a little bit on particularly on vegan weddings, because you know most of my clients are vegan, some of them aren't, and it is a particular type of thing to deal with, and with your family and friends and that sort of thing. So firstly, my first question for you is, why did you choose to have a vegan wedding?
So I guess for us it wasn't a choice. We always knew we were going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both been vegan for over 4 years now. Whenever we met, you were vegetarian, but I wasn't. I was still carnivorous. And then I went veggie after about 3 months of us dating.
If that, yeah.
And then about another 5 or 6 months later, we both decided to go vegan at the same time. We have been ever since.
So it was kind of a no-brainer for us that we definitely wanted to have a vegan wedding, and support the things that are really dear to us, and show our friends and family that vegan food's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. So did you tell, I know a lot of people, when they are vegan, they really want to show like you said, they want to show their values to their families and their family and friends. And that's what weddings are for, to share parts of yourself and your relationship with your loved ones. But you can be a bit nervous, I think. I had a vegan wedding a long time ago, and I was nervous to tell people beforehand. Did you tell people beforehand that it was vegan?
No, we didn't. We deliberately didn't. And the reason why we didn't was, I think, one, we didn't want to set up any preconceived notions people had of what that might entail. Mm-hmm. But also, we went to 6 weddings last year, including our own, and nobody tells you what's on the menu, right?
Yes.
So I think it would be weird to set it up and frame it as a vegan wedding, because for us it was just our wedding, and the vegan stuff was part of it. But I think the other part was, we still took dietary requirements and stuff, and it was
the lactose free.
Yeah, the lactose free is like you'll be all right. You won't get sick. But we also wanted to show people how good vegan food was, and we didn't want to plan. We got a couple of jokes and things. People said, "Oh, I'll have to go to Macca's after this." So if anybody asked us, we didn't not tell them.
Yeah.
So if somebody said, a few people asked if the food was vegan, and we said, yeah, it was, but they were mostly okay with that.
And I think everyone close to us kind of just assumed, they knew us, they knew, our kind of lifestyle, and I think that a lot of them didn't sort of have to ask. But I think we just always knew that it was something we were going to do, and people were, they sort of love and support us regardless of any of that. So we're lucky that even some of our family members who were a bit sort of more vocal about their views on things,
vocally skeptical. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. No, but even they were fine, and I think on the day it really came together. People loved. We had a grazing table that people loved, and we did family serve. And one of the reasons we did family serve was because we wanted people to try as many different awesome vegan foods as possible, rather than a set meal. And people loved it. Everybody said the food was fantastic. And actually our photographer came over when we were eating and said, this is the best food I've had at any time. So that, he's obviously been to a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I think that I wouldn't want to plant any ideas in people's head, because they're not necessarily used to having vegan food, or they're used to going somewhere where there's only one vegan option in the menu, and it's a bit of a sop, rather than somewhere that's specifically doing really good food that, is vegan's part of it, but it's still really well-rounded dishes and things.
Yeah. Did you have any guests that were vegan? other than yourselves? Did you have any?
We did. One of Alan's Auntie Donna, who travelled from Northern Ireland, was vegan. And so we had a lot of family come over from the UK and staying with us for a lot of the time, you know, sort of before the wedding and after. And so she was loving it because she was like, usually when she goes on holidays, it's like, you know, she's the only vegan, but she's living in a household full of us. So.
I think I was probably craving meat by the end of the month, but my auntie was really happy.
Yeah.
But we're all really familiar with that, aren't we? Like traveling and having to kind of, you know, survive on just like potatoes and bread and stuff. Yeah, it would have been a really nice surprise.
Been there. Yeah, but a lot of our friends have like, there's quite a few people who've been with us to vegan restaurants and stuff before as well. So it wasn't entirely new to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose like we've got a really wide range of friends. Some who just seem to operate their own barbecues, and some who are totally vegan. But it seemed like it was a good fit for everyone.
Well, I guess too, like, you know, my family is Italian, so there was always going to be a big, like, you know, everything we've grown up with has been centered around food. But I guess, you know, one of the things that like I really believe in you know, choosing a vegan diet and lifestyle is that, you know, we can have those memories and we can do those sort of celebrations. It doesn't just have to be, we can evolve almost from, you know, what they used to be. And so I think that, you know, showing them that, you know, we can still do these big gatherings and have it all vegan and everyone be completely satisfied and like, you know, go away even happier than if they were to have a normal, you know, kind of what they would see as a normal meal at a wedding. Is really cool. And it's to be honest, it's one of the reasons why we chose Secret Creek and for you to do all of the great work you did for our wedding and our venue, because we 110% like just love the work that you and the team do at Secret Creek, and just feel like it reflects our values. And I couldn't have picked anywhere else to get married, I don't think.
Thank you. That's so lovely. We do, like, everything you said just now is pretty much why I do what I do, to be honest. I just think that it's an opportunity, and I think, like, you know, those gatherings, or, you know, and now these days we're having gatherings, you know, Zoom birthday parties and stuff online, and, you know, but all of these memories that we create around food, if we start to just do it and create the memories around vegan food, that's how we make a new culture. That's how the culture develops, because it's not going to, if we kind of, you know, just make allowances and do, you know, we have to change the culture on a large scale. And this is just, you know, the best opportunity to do it when we're creating memories. Everyone is going to look back at your wedding and go, oh my God, we had such a great time. And, you know, it's not just about the food, but because it's centered around vegan food, you associate those memories. And yeah, it's how we, you know, move into the future. So what have I got here next? Oh, vendors. What other vendors did you use? So photographers, makeup artists, anything like that. And what did you look for when you were choosing your vendors?
So we wanted to stay nice and local. We love like kind of recommendations. My hair and makeup was done by my like local normal hairdresser, Jess from Orchid Bell. We got our flowers from Blacksland Blooms, and our videographer and photographer, Neaton Photography and Pixie Flicks videography, they came recommended from my cousin's wedding last year, and she's a photographer herself. So basically I knew whoever she's going to choose to be her wedding photographer, I'm going to that's a pretty high recommendation.
And our celebrant was one of our friends as well, so we're really lucky that actually like we had a friend who could do celebrant duties. So pretty much everything was word of mouth, or just local people that we got a good vibe from, really. And
Elise was fantastic too as our celebrant. She's actually two of our friends, Yasmin and Kelsey, are getting married later this year. And she's going to be the celebrant at their wedding. So I guess a lot of that word of mouth, obviously they attended our wedding and, you know, sort of saw what a great job she did, and, you know, kind of then reached out for her contact details. So I think a lot of it is that sort of word of mouth recommendation, and keeping it local too, I think, so important.
Yeah, because we went to a bridal fair in Penrith, like, not that long after we got engaged and come back to Australia, and we got a lot of details, but we didn't really get anywhere. And I don't think there was anything that came out of that bridal fair that we ended up using for our wedding. We might have pitched an idea for wedding favors that we ended up making ourselves. Because your dad made the wedding favors, which they're like these little coasters, but they were made from a tree in the garden. So he cut them and shaped them. You burned the names in and the designs, and then we lacquered them. So that was the only thing we got from the bridal fair, but a lot of it, was just word of mouth or people we knew.
Yeah, that's really interesting, I think, because it is such a personal day, and you really have to feel that connection, I think, with the people that you work with. And I think I do, I say that to people when they ask me for recommendations. Like, I only recommend people that I've worked with and that I know, and because it's a big deal. Like, you're sharing a really important memory with people, and you have to connect on some level. But then saying that, there's people that connect with different people as well. So you might have this personal connection, or this feeling that you really like your celebrant, and other people are attracted to someone that has a different kind of vibe. So I think you definitely should follow your feelings, or follow your gut feeling when it comes to vendors.
It depends on the vendor as well. Like, it's different for a celebrant, where somebody who's your friend and knows you as a couple really intimately to lead that part of the service. I don't think you would necessarily want any random friend to be a photographer unless they're a professional wedding photographer, because you want them to enjoy the day as well. So for some things, like especially with the photography and the videography, like, we got a really good professional service from people who've actually become our friends. So that was a nice way of going about that. But it's still important, like, for things that you absolutely want to get right, to make sure you've got a trusted vendor, you've got a good professional relationship with.
And I think the same for me definitely went with hair and makeup, like from working with Jess, like in the past before, and she does my hair usually. Like, she did say that I was probably the most chilled bride though, like, so I was very just like, you'll be fine, I know you'll do a good job. So I guess that, like, our kind of laid back view of things it also comes into play with that, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So I'm going to go off topic just because you mentioned that, but is that just your nature, or did you do things to help yourself chill out, or did you do anything that sort of helped you to avoid that stress leading up to the day?
I mean, I think we're pretty relaxed anyway. To the point where, like, on the day we were really behind on our run sheet, was like, it'll be fine. It doesn't really matter. But I don't think it really mattered on the day. I think we were pretty good. We did quite a lot up front, and we both have a background of working in, like, sort of communications and project management and things. So we had a pretty good idea of exactly what we needed to do and when we needed to do it. So sadly, it was like an extension of a day job, but it meant that we were able to nail it. We were able to get a lot of the things up front. Like, we, had all the major venues done ages in advance, and the only thing that went wrong was that we had got a wireless PA system, and it turned up on the day, and it turned out it wasn't wireless because the battery didn't work. And that
you roll with the punches on it too a bit. Like, I think one of the things we always came into the whole wedding situation with, the whole mindset, is that it is one day. It's a very important day, but it's one day, and we didn't want to lose sight about focusing on our marriage, more than the actual wedding. So I think that was a really important thing to kind of keep us really grounded and go, like, why are we doing this? Like, what are all of those things that are important to us? And, like, at the end of the day, like, I guess it just, all it matters it matters more about our marriage than it did about that one day. And that one day was amazing, and we'll never forget it. But I think
the wedding's kind of the easy part, isn't
it? They say, that's 100% true. I think like a marriage, the day as well, like, you're going to have ups and downs through the rest of your relationship, and you will have unexpected things happen. That's just a given, because life is the way that it is. You can only do so much planning, and that's such a good attitude to have, I think. And if people aren't as relaxed as you guys, like, if they're sort of prone to stressing about these little details, I think it's a good idea to kind of just, where you can, take some time to check in with yourself leading up to the day. And, you know, if you are someone that kind of obsesses a little bit, because, at the end of the day, it's, like you said, it's one day. Yeah. Going forward, there are more important things to focus.
We were really lucky to have very supportive parents and supportive bridal party that were also happy to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you'll probably ask later about top tips, but I think a top tip is just to give your bridal party a run sheet and let people that you trust have visibility over that day, because they took care of a lot of the stuff and made sure the guests were entertained while we went off and got all the memories and all the bits that are really important to us. But you do hear of couples who have, you know, micromanaging parents who want to. We didn't have that. You know, your parents were in Australia and they were super chill. My family rocked up from the UK and they were happy to go with it. So that helped as well. So not everybody has that luxury. Yeah. But it's, you know, it's just part of sort of an extension of our everyday life. We are pretty chill and pretty proactive. But you know, if you've got a really, really meticulous idea of what you want, that's okay. It doesn't have to be that way, but for a lot of people, like, they really want to sweat the details. And again, it's just about them and how they want to express themselves.
Well, and I think what are the things that matter, and if you kind of write a list and you've got to pick, you know, what are your top 3 things, you know, you can, as you say, you can do that for lots of parts of your marriage. Like, you know, obviously for us, like, having sort of a month after our wedding gone through, you know, 2 months of bushfire season, you know, and me being a volunteer firefighter and being out, and like with Alan being at home, like it's kind of been a little bit like that for us, for our marriage so far. And now with everything that's happening with COVID, and obviously looking after, you know, elderly relatives and parents and stuff, like, you got to kind of, I mean, even if it's something as tactile as literally sitting down with a piece of paper and going, this is what matters, like 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. I think it's good advice for.
And we did that, you know, we did that with stuff like, we looked at, so flowers and decorating the venue wasn't massively important to us. Like, you got the local flowers you really liked, but the way you decorated the venue at Secret Creek, we were more than happy with the way it looked when we came in. So we didn't spend a lot of money or time in that, but we really wanted to get the photography right. So we did spend time with Brendan scoping out sites to go for the photos and what way it was going to come together and how we do the videos. So again, like, you can kind of optimize what you really want to do. You can't do everything, but or another one, we didn't spend any money on a DJ or an MC. Like, we had a friend who was good enough to do an MC, one of the best men. And it was just DJ iTunes and a playlist we'd made ourselves. So, but some people might really, really want to have that experience. Like, we've had friends who really love clubbing and live music way more than even we do. So again, it's just about how you want to prioritize your time, your resources. Because I think that's it. Like, you can spend as much money as you want, but there's only a certain amount of time and a lot of mental capacity you can put into it. So you can't do anything even with an unlimited budget. So you've got to focus on some things. Yeah,
that's such a good point. Like, it's not just about money. It's definitely also about what you want to spend your time and your energy on. And you brought up another really good point about giving people things to do, because in my experience, people love that. They want to be involved. They want to be like, you know, whether it's, you know, your sister or your auntie or your, you know, brother or whatever. Yeah. And if they have something that they really like doing, give them that job. Then they go, at the end of the day, they go, I did that, and, you know, I felt like I contributed. People do really want to be involved. And because it's always, especially for the parents, I think, it feels really important for them. Like, and we kind of forget that the day is all about, you know, the couple, you know, and we forget about that the family have a really big emotional investment in the day as well. So that was a really good point. So have I said this one yet? What was the best decision you made in hindsight? We've kind of covered good decisions already.
Well, what was it we said this morning? Probably getting a video.
Yeah.
Because whenever we had the first meeting with the photographer, we weren't sure if we wanted to get a video or not. And we were pretty adamant we didn't want to have the whole day, like all the ceremony,
like
and
6 hours,
all the speeches. The director's cut 4-hour special DVD that you're never going to watch. But then we sort of said to the photographer who watches this, and he's like, I watch mine all the time. So we ended up getting a 10-minute highlight video. And that was
it was
decision. And you know what? I've seen your video, and it's so good. I love videos. every time I see someone's wedding video, I cry. Like, I love them. Like, I've, you know, good ones. I haven't really seen any bad ones of that 10-minute kind of highlight thing. Oh, I just love them.
Well, highlight's good because that's kind of how your brain remembers it anyway.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we do probably have recordings of the speeches and the full ceremony somewhere.
We do. We've got those as well,
but it's better. I think it's better to have a little montage of the whole day, capturing all the little moments and things. Because actually, a lot of the bits that you want in the video are the interstitial bits of all the guests mixing and things, which you're not getting if you just got a camera on a tripod doing a whole ceremony or a whole raft of speeches. You know, so that was actually a way better way to capture what really mattered on the day. So that was really good.
And I mean, I've spoken to friends, you know, just a little insight, I guess, for people who are planning still. I've spoken to friends, you know, we went to 6 weddings last year who didn't get a video, and had said to me after their wedding that they thought that was the one thing they regretted, that they really just wanted. And I know that, like, you know, like, budgets can be tight, like, I completely appreciate that, but we, like, from the get-go, we're kind of like, let's see how we can shuffle things around, because it was something that was really, really important for us.
Yeah, like, there's quite a lot of little decisions we made that were good and also inadvertent money savers. Like, we did cake as dessert. That was a really good idea, especially because I really like cake.
By the time they're finished, anyway. Like, it's, I always tell people to do that.
Yeah, so that was really good. Family serve is a really good idea instead of having a set 3-course meal, especially because people got to try lots of different vegan foods, and we didn't worry too much about the theming. We just picked loads of good stuff. So those were really good ideas. Is there anything else you can think of?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like we nailed it, because it's, you know, it's hard. It was a few months ago, but I don't think there were any really bad decisions we made. There wasn't really anything that we didn't use or went wrong or anything like that. So I think we just about covered everything we needed to. But we did keep it. We ordered too much alcohol. We still have we still have beer and wine.
But now on lockdown, we're cheering because we've got a wedding wine.
There you go.
Speaking of a pandemic in 2021, you know, maybe that is the right choice, is to order too much alcohol, but probably need to weigh that up if we rely on the Dan Murphy's drink calculator, because they seem really optimistic.
Yeah, it's probably going off like Australian averages, which are really high. They're probably even higher at the moment. How much people drink.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah.
So what's your favourite memory from the day?
Well, I think probably sounds bad to all our guests, but actually our favourite memory was whenever we went and did the photo shoot out on the Lookout. So yeah, and it was nice because obviously you spend pretty much the whole day with the guests, and one of the things people had said to us consistently was take a bit of time for yourself. That was it, because both of my best men, one got married in July and the other one got married last June, so the year before us, and they both said you're going to want a bit of time for yourself, and we booked that in for a few minutes after the ceremony. But of course what happened is people come up to you and they congratulate you talking, so that's not a good time to do that. A good time is after you've done the grazy table and the nibbles and drinks,
when you go in and get photos.
When you go and get the photos done. So that was really nice couple time where it was just you and me and Brendan and Adam.
And in true me fashion, we were climbing rocks in my wedding dress and like high-heeled shoes. We were climbing rocks up to this lookout to get photos.
It was worth it. You know,
it was definitely worth it, but it was just like peak Jess and Alan climbing things.
Yeah. So there was no injuries though, because that would be a completely different memory had there been that.
But we really enjoyed that, and the other thing we really enjoyed doing is whenever we went into the venue and we had our dinner and stuff, we made an effort to go around every single table and sit with people and chat to them for a while. And there's been weddings I've been to, you know, where you don't get to chat to the bride and groom as much as you want to. So that was really important for us. So we made sure we got FaceTime with everybody. It was a really good way to see everybody, and we got photos with every table as well, which is nice. So that was I think that was a good secondary decision.
Awesome. So last question is, and we've done a little bit of them already, but what's your number one piece of advice for couples that are planning their wedding?
Chill.
Like it's a really important day, but it's only one day, and you know it'll be the best day of your life regardless of what happens and the little mishaps. No one will notice, and I know everyone says that, but it's true.
But they genuinely won't unless they're going to 5 weddings that year and they're planning their own, right? And but otherwise people are really just happy to be there. They're there to support you. They're there for the food, and they're there to have a drink and catch up with friends. Yeah. And as long as they get fed, and as long as the bride turns up on the day, the rest of it will really be okay.
Yeah.
So that's,
and just have fun, like enjoy. I think enjoy the ride. Like I think for us, it was definitely a big. We had a lot of our family in the same place for the very first time in our lives, in our relationship. So it was surreal almost to kind of even just have all our parents in the same room.
Yeah, it was because that obviously never happened before. Like we had 8 people in our house, including our own, and we just like the year that we got married, we had bought a house, just moved into the house, then we got married. And then I got my permanent residency visa, and then we adopted a dog, and then we had bushfires. So it was, we were looking forward to a chill 2020.
Some isolation time, maybe?
Yeah. So 2021, we're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
But we had so much going on, but actually the wedding was one of the least stressful aspects of that, just because of the way we planned it. I think one of the key tips is, you want a good bridal party and people who are going to give you fearless advice. Like you want people who are going to tell you what's going to work and what's not going to work, and who are really going to help you on the day. And it's really important that they know what's happening, because on the day you're not going to have time to think about it, and you're not going to want to. And that's the kind of thing that leads to stress and bride and groomzillas. So having a group of people, even we just went the night before, like we've been out for dinner in Lithgow, and we sort of said, here's the run sheet, here's what we're going to do. Made sure everybody knew, made sure like you knew at the venue roughly what was going to happen. And that just eliminated the stress on the day, because they were just able to handle it while we were off doing all the pleasantries.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for having a chat with me today. It was really good. You guys have such good advice. And I remember now about how you'd gone to so many weddings, because I know we talked about
Yeah.
You guys are going to be pros. What a perfect couple to have on the first time I've done this. You guys are like wedding pros.
Well, we're only going to do it once, so and we're not going to be moving to the wedding planning industry anytime soon. But we're happy with ours.
Yeah, the wedding industry is not a good thing to jump on board with.
Not right now, anyway.
Hey, well, like everything, I think it'll come back, and it'll just be. I think the thing with everything that's happening at the moment, what it's doing is it's making us all take stock and have time to realize, what the important things are in life.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as we keep doing that, like we will get back to a place where we can have those gatherings again.
Yeah.
But
all those people that have postponed, it's heartbreaking on the day, that you should have been getting married. It feels really hard, but imagine how much more special that day is going to be when it comes around, having spent that time on introspection and just, like you said, working out what's really important and what matters and what doesn't. So
we might well have postponed. I mean, we had 15, 20 guests coming from the UK. We had elderly relatives and stuff. So we might have had I would hate to be in the situation that a lot of people are in
my
now.
heart goes out to all of them.
We do have family here getting married later this year in October, and hopefully things clear up by then, and friends getting married later this year. So it's, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but if there's no immediate urgency and people haven't booked flights and things, maybe postponing is not a bad idea if you really want to take the stress off. I would hate to make that call ourselves, but I think we probably would have.
Yeah.
We just have had to, explain to the Department of Home Affairs why the wedding date was wrong in my visa application. But apart from that, it would have all been. But that's it. It's important to get it right, because you only get to do it once. And some people, some people elope and they have 5 people at the wedding and they have a great time.
And Zoom weddings are a big thing now. And so I think people are pretty resilient, and we're innovative, and there's different ways you can sort of pivot and change and make sure these things happen. And really at the end of the day, all of the legal formal stuff you can do whenever. It's more about the big celebration and getting all the family together. And
there's no reason why you couldn't have a massive party. Just a party with all your friends where you all get dressed up and have a very similar but technically not wedding.
Yeah, definitely.
Couldn't do that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. It's been awesome, and I'm hopefully going to be doing a few more of these. So yeah, we'll compare everyone else's advice too. You've had a lot of really good tips for everyone. So thank you so much. I hope
Thanks for having us.
is awesome for you guys. And on the other side of this, hopefully you can come into Secret Creek and have a catch up. And
Definitely.
Definitely. As soon as you're open.
Yeah, we'll be there first.
We're just taking it day by day at the moment. So, all right, thank you so much.
No worries. See ya.
Are you gonna stay?